Podcast. My name is James Strong, joined once again by my co-host, Cody Tanner. Cody, how are you this fine Monday evening?
James, I'm doing fantastic on this Monday evening. How are you, sir?
I am doing all right, man. Doing all right.
Yeah. I just got done meeting with a guy at church. His name's Fish. We call him Fish, talking about podcast and stuff. So I told him about the Steelers. He's a Detroit Lions fan, which is unfortunate for him. Maybe not moving forward. We'll see what they do. But yeah, so I'm doing good. We're ready. We're ready to talk Steelers football, James.
Those Lions are pretty fierce these days, buddy. I think he's got a bright future for his team.
Yeah, I don't golf at him too much. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Ooh.
Rumor is a big contract extension for Mr. Goff.
Well deserved, in my opinion. Well deserved.
Yeah.
We're going to start off right off the bat and talk Steelers signing. So Pittsburgh did sign a wide receiver by the name of Scotty Miller. If you know him, that's because Scotty Miller is fast. That's pretty much what he's known for. He's a little guy. He's 5'9", 176 pounds, soaking wet probably. Ran a 4.36 40, which is it's quick.
Blazing.
I mean, James, you could run a 4.4 with a car
or 420-yard dash,
yeah.
maybe.
But no, so he was drafted to Tampa Bay, played a little bit with Tom Brady, and then went on to play with Arthur Smith at the Falcons. Yep, he won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Now I'm curious what his stats were in that Super Bowl. If he was a big part. I know he was probably because Mike Evans was the number one, obviously. Scotty Miller might have been the number 2 in that offense.
Gronk.
Well, okay, it's fair. That is fair. But no, let's go ahead and talk about him real quick.
So Scotty's a solid receiver. Played a lot of slot in his career thus far. Very quick, and obviously has some good high-end speed too. So, like Cody mentioned, started with Tampa Bay, then to the Falcons, now with the Steelers. So he's got some experience in Arthur Smith's offense, which has a very large degree to do with why he is here in Pittsburgh right now. So this is the 4th offensive player that Arthur Smith has brought with him to the Pittsburgh Steelers to help people kind of get familiar with his system and also players that he values highly. So I think this is a good signing personally. I think don't expect him to necessarily be the number 2 wide receiver catching 70 or 80 balls this year, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he's in that 30 to 40 range and plays a significant role, being possibly the number 3 wide receiver for Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Okay. So the Bucks won in 2021. That year, of course, is the year that he had 5 receptions for 38 yards. Must have been an injury year for him, or Tom Brady just said, "Hey, I don't like this guy." And that was that.
He threw to Gronk.
Yeah, he threw to Gronk. 6 total touchdowns on his career. Nothing too crazy. I don't know why I thought he had a better career in Tampa. But I am curious to see. I know he did kick and punt returns for a little bit. No, excuse me, not that much. He only had 1 return. Why did I think he did kick and punt?
Because he's short, fast, and white, and a lot of those dudes do return.
That's true. Maybe I'm thinking of Ryan Switzer. Who knows? But no, with that being said, I mean, this is a guy that obviously Arthur Smith is comfortable with, so bringing him in, maybe even he's bringing him in to help for the new guys or the current players to understand the offense. You never know what the reasoning could be for that. But that was a signing, so we'll see what they do. We have rookie news, James. Logan Lee and Mason McCormick signed their rookie deals first, and then followed by Ryan Watts, the cornerback, Peyton Wilson, the middle linebacker, and Roman Wilson, the wide receiver. So very exciting news for them.
Yeah, leaves just the 1st and 2nd round picks, the offensive lineman at the beginning of the draft there, unsigned, which is not abnormal. Usually it's the back of the draft guys that sign their contracts first because there's really nothing to discuss or negotiate. It's here's what you're going to get.
Yep.
Sign right here. And they say, yes, sir, I'll see you at work tomorrow.
Yep,
it's
pretty much.
Very simple. Yeah, very simple, very straightforward. So nice to see so many of them get taken care of right out of the gate like that. Kind of no coincidence at all because it happened during rookie minicamp.
Yep.
That's the way this normally goes. These guys report the rookie minicamp, they sign their deals, they go out and they practice. So nice to get so many out of the way. I would expect that probably by the next time we talk to you guys, I think the center will be signed by then. And then probably the week after that or so, we'll see Troy Fautanu signing his rookie deal as well. Um, there's been a little bit of sometimes negotiating in around that 20 spot where they're trying to fight for a couple extra dollars guaranteed or whatever.
Yep.
So possibility it could take a little bit extra time in order to get that deal done, but it will get done. It's only a matter of time. So nice to have the formality behind us so that these guys can move forward and really go all out in their practice.
Yeah. With that being said, we did have rookie minicamp take place. And now during rookie minicamp, we saw McCormick and Troy on both playing on the right side of the line.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell us? And what are the big takeaways? Because, I mean, let's be real here. I do believe that they were doing those practices without the majority of the starters for the offensive line. Like, Broderick Jones wasn't there. Siumalu obviously wasn't there. James Daniels wasn't there. But both these guys playing on the right side of the line got to tell you something about where they want these people playing.
Yeah, it kind of gives you a little bit of insight because Mason McCormick was a left guard almost exclusively in college. And same with Troy Fautanu, almost exclusively a left tackle in college. Hasn't played on the right side since high school. So been a long time since he's played over there, and they immediately put him there and stuck him on that side and kept him over there. So I think that tells us a lot for both. I think that plan A is going to be Broderick Jones on the left, like they were telling us all along, and then move Fautanu over to the right, which I think with his power profile and being a little bit more compact isn't a bad idea at all. Especially if Russell Wilson has a tendency to throw to his right side more frequently. A little bit shorter of a tackle might not be a bad move. Help him out with his line of sight on that side of the field. But also, it screams to me that they think that these three guys might be the future on the right side of the line. So why not start them right now with their chemistry with Zach Frazier at center, Mason McCormick right guard, Troy Fautanu on the right tackle. I would love for Pittsburgh to retain James Daniels and keep him going forward, but it screams that they're already ready to put him in the starting lineup in 2025 and move forward. So we'll see how things plays out for James Daniels this upcoming season. Some people would have him as the Steelers' best offensive lineman last year, as far as grading how they all played last year. But I think it's pretty neat. I think it's cool to get that chemistry going right out of the gate, and nice to get some formalities going. This doesn't set anything in stone by any means. It could still end up week one that Dan Moore's starting on the left and Broderick Jones is on the right, and they're just not going to throw Troy Fautanu out there right away. It's very possible that happens, just similar to how it happened last year with Broderick having to wait his time, basically. But I like it.
Yeah. I mean, there was 43 guys total at minicamp. So
yeah, there's enough to get a whole line together.
Yeah, they definitely got a whole line together. And the cool thing is it gives, so you have first year players that are allowed to come into go back to minicamp or rookie minicamp, excuse me. And then you also have the obviously rookie class, and then you have tryout players. Now, tryout players included a list of veterans technically in the league. Caleb Shudik, which was a kicker. He's been in the league 3 years. You had Anthony Everett, cornerback, who's been in the league for 6 years. Jonathan Ward, a running back, who's been in for 6 years from Central Michigan. Johnny Lumpkin, tight end from Louisiana Lafayette, who's been in the league for 2 years and spent some time with the Colts, Patriots, and Broncos, which is interesting because we brought in Russell Wilson, Broncos. Maybe there's a connection there. You also had a long snapper who's been in the league 2 years, and then a list full of rookies, undrafted free agents from all over the place that just got a chance to try out. And notably so, Pittsburgh did sign that defensive back, Anthony Everett, after tryout for the rookie minicamp, previously a 4th-round pick in 2018. And James spent some time with a rival AFC North team as well.
Yeah, drafted by the Baltimore Ravens and was there for 3 or 4 years before moving on to other parts of his career. Kind of an older prospect at this point. He's 29 years old, but the thing is, Pittsburgh didn't really have anyone with any experience in the NFL at all at the corner position previous to this signing. Now there's somebody with some pretty good experience and some high-end athleticism. When he came out in 2018, ran a 4.3 640-yard dash. He's 5'11", 185, so he's of decent size. We've had a history of having a lot of guys that are 5'9 or 5'10 at the nickel corner position, so he's a little bit bigger than what we're used to. Also put up 13 reps on the bench, which is pretty good for a 185-pound guy.
Yep.
So decent size and athleticism to him. And you said what, he had 3 picks in his last full season played too?
Yeah, I mean, 14 games started that year. That last year he played with Baltimore before being with the Raiders last year. 2 years ago, it looks like. I could be wrong. But yeah, 3 interceptions on 101 targets. So his completion percentage was a little bit higher than you'd probably like to see, 55.4. Still very good comparatively. I mean, previous years he had 75% completion rate. And 58 and 66 his last year with the Raiders. But again, this is a guy that comes in bringing AFC North mentality. He experienced the rivalry there. And quite frankly, I think that even just the veteran in the room, you think about we have two rookies from this year, technically, one undrafted and one, the one undrafted from Texas. We drafted the one from Texas.
Correct.
Who's the undrafted
Brian
guy
Watts
we brought
was
in?
The 6th round.
The
pick.
West Virginian.
Beanie Bishop.
So you got 2 guys that were drafted this year, 2 guys that were drafted last year, and Corey Trice and Joey Porter Jr. This, if anything else, just adds a veteran in the room that can speak to the rivalry, that can speak to the aspect of playing in the pros, and maybe just be a little bit of a wake-up call for them. So I love that addition to the team and to the secondary, quite frankly. I think he makes the 53 just because of the experience at this point.
Yeah, we'll see if they add anyone else to the room still. You never know. Things could happen, kind of like that one year where the Browns released Joe Hayden and Pittsburgh was able to pick him up for a reasonable signing. Something like that could happen, and if it did, they have the roster space freed up with that restructure that they did with Alex Highsmith. So I'm a big fan of this move, especially since you mentioned that 55% completion percentage allowed his last season. I guarantee that's a lot better than what Patrick Peterson and Levi Wallace were allowing last year.
Yep.
So it's a big step in the right direction.
Now I'm curious
when you're comparing to what we had to deal with last year, because it seemed like there was only one good corner on the roster last year, and that was Joey Porter Jr. So the other guys really took a lot of lumps and bruises as the year went on.
So Patrick Peterson, the last 2 years, well, only the year with us, was 59.4%. Levi Wallace, if I can look this up. No, don't you love when you get those ads? There's no Mrs. Tanner.
110%.
Yeah, there's no Mrs. Tanner right now. I don't need to go shopping for Steelers women's attire. 53% was Levi Wallace.
Oh, wow. Lower than I expected to hear.
Yeah. Listen. If Mrs. Tanner is watching this, future Mrs. Tanner, come on. I need a Steelers babe by my side. You know what I'm saying? Or if you don't like the Steelers, you just got to wear the jersey. It's fine.
Oh boy, Cody.
Schedule's coming out.
The schedule and completely unrelated news to that last note, Cody.
it keeps popping up.
The schedule release coming on Wednesday, so in 2 days, which means the next show we bring to you guys, we'll be talking about the schedule and how the Steelers got screwed over in this one portion and how this other portion could play into their favor. And
are we playing on Christmas? James?
I hope not, man. I'm sick of them playing on Christmas.
Is it 2 years out of the last 3 we played on Christmas?
Yeah. It's like every year they keep on getting stuck.
Do we have a week 1 home opener, or are the Pirates messing with it again?
A lot of people talking about the possibility of Steelers Broncos week 1.
That would be an impressive rivalry.
The Broncos.
Yep.
And there's a lot of thought process that if the Steelers Broncos matchup isn't early in the season,
they may not have Russell Wilson in it.
Yeah, there's a chance it'll be Fields at the head, and then it won't draw the attention that it would otherwise. So it seems like a matchup that would make a lot of sense to be week 1. And I'm here for it. If they do that, I think that would be real fun.
If they do that, we're going to get either there's only 2 options for that. We're either getting a 1 p.m. game on Sunday, or we're getting a primetime game. There's no in between. Yeah. We're not getting the mid-afternoon game for that. So I'm interested. I bet you it's going to be a Sunday night game. Guaranteed. I feel it. Because that would be in Pittsburgh, right? Are they listed as a home opponent?
I don't recall, to be honest.
I'm going to pull it up real quick because I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be in Pittsburgh or not.
So Pittsburgh's opponents determined. On the road, we'll face Denver. So Denver would be an away game week 1. Mile High Stadium.
Probably would be a 4:00 game then, because they're far enough over West Coast wise. They're what, 2 time zones away? I don't think they're on West Coast time, but I think they're like Central Mountain or whatever.
James, I have a big PC here that I can look up time zones. Because I don't know that. You know what? They are 1, 2. Yeah, they're two over.
Yeah, so they probably would make it a 4:00 game.
Is it Mountain Time over there? Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Time.
Whatever.
Cody, you have a computer there.
I know I do.
You literally just had it in front
of you. Listen, it keeps showing now it's baby Steeler stuff. I don't have a child. Stop. Listen, my child will be learning how to do this at an early age. You got to wave that terrible towel, baby.
Better be. Yeah.
Better be. Listen, all your dogs got to learn it now too.
I already know.
Yeah, as they should. They all need jerseys. That's what I'm doing for Christmas for you this year. I'm getting all the dogs' jerseys.
I had one. I don't know where. It was a pink one that Tesla wore.
Oh, I remember that.
Puppy.
Yeah.
If any of them would fit into it now, it's CC only.
That's true. Yeah, my dog used to have one. Don't know where that went. Lost that somewhere. Probably in Texas. It had it in Texas. I just don't know where it went. But yeah, so schedule release coming. We're excited for that. We'll talk about it. And you know what, James? We might as well do you want to give our predictions? Way too early predictions for the schedule on the next episode.
Sure, man.
Why the heck not? Why not?
Also, coming soon to a Steelers by the Lake post near you.
On Facebook.
We've been messing around a little bit, and by I mean Cody, on this AI song generator that is allowed to make a new Steelers by the Lake theme song. So we got a couple of them that we narrowed it down to. Cody's going to put a post together for us. So look for that on our Facebook page. Listen to both of them. Put a vote in on which one you like better. Help us determine the next chapter of Steelers by the Lake on what the intro and outro music could sound like.
Yeah, we're excited for that. Be sharing that hopefully sometime Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. So be looking for that Wednesday at the very latest. And we will be excited to hear what you guys say about the Steelers by the Lake intro. James, we're wrapping up the show here. We're not talking about anything else. Just get excited for the season. The draft's in the book. The schedule's coming out. Rookie mini camp's done. Training camp's coming up. And then we got the preseason Hall of Fame game. We're not in it this year. That's okay. Thank God. We don't have to play on that stupid field. But we thank you guys so much for listening or watching. If you're here on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. It's free. Reminder, like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And until next time, this is your host, James and Cody, signing off.
Peace.